Well, here's Charles Plain blasting Democrats' green energy agenda at the expense of the American worker. Watch this.
The suicide that we are seeing by Western nations, all, again, genuflecting to this green utopia that they think is right around the corner, but instead they're crushing their citizens. The big question mark going into Europe this winter is how will they keep everybody warm? How will they get everyone heat and electricity? It's nuts, and we're watching this, and we're going down the same path. And here's the thing. We were blessed. We have this under our feet at this very moment. So let's just stop with the games for a moment. If you really think you're going to get to some sort of green utopia, at least be smart about it. It's 20 years away. 30 years away, if it's ever possible at all.
All right, let's bring in Robert Henneke, Executive Director of the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Robert, we've been talking about this so far this morning in general terms. Let's get down to brass tacks. Let's get down to specifics. How much worse will the pain at the pump be for the average American because of these OPEC cuts?
Well, Todd, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Sure.
When I went to bed last night, it was gas was averaging $3.80 a gallon. Now, a couple hours later, it's $3.86 a gallon. You know, the Biden recession is causing a depression with the American people. You have a recent survey that shows that 65% of Americans feel stressful about rising prices. And here just recently, there was a study that more than half of young likely voters are pessimistic about the future. They feel that they're going to have a lower standard of living than their parents did. So clearly this is having an impact. Americans are feeling it, especially as we're approaching winter. And Americans have to worry not just about the price of the pump, but also being able to pay for heating costs with the cold days ahead.
Yeah, so there are a variety of ways that the president could have responded to these production cuts by OPEC. He could have scheduled a meeting with American energy producers and suppliers. He chose not to do that so far, and reportedly the Biden administration is now planning to scale down sanctions on Venezuela to allow Chevron to resume its oil operations there. Venezuela, by the way, is rated among the world's dirtiest oil suppliers. So how is that a solution?
It's not. It's a terrible reaction to ease sanctions on the government of Venezuela. Those sanctions are there for a reason. It's a terrible reaction by this administration to continue to pump more money out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The safety net of America is shrinking. Just keep in mind, a couple months ago, President Biden went directly to the Middle East to have what he described as face-to-face diplomacy in order to strengthen the strategic partnership. You know, the infamous fist bump with the Saudi prince has clearly failed, and really what we see is it's pushed that government further away.
Robert, will Joe Biden's release from the Strategic Reserve do anything tangible besides, you know, harming our own national security?
Yeah.
It's not going to. We're going to see prices continue to rise. We're going to see Americans continue to struggle. What needs to be done is we need to return to the energy independence that we had under the past administration with President Trump. And really the only way that President Biden can address rising gas prices and our national security vulnerability caused by this is to stop his war on the American oil and gas industry and to encourage our resources to be developed for the benefit of the American people.
So how do you see this playing out politically with midterm elections just about a month away from now?
Oh, I think the timing is intentional by OPEC, knowing full well that there's an important American election coming up here in the next month. So just as voters are going to be going to the polls, they're going to be paying more at the pump to fill up their tanks in order to drive to vote. I think you're going to see that resonate with the frustration and anger by Americans who are facing rising inflation costs, increased interest rates, a dropping stock market, and now this. So I clearly think that the economy is going to be the issue, and the timing of this will certainly be felt at the ballot box.
Robert, I feel like Republicans are all on the same page on this. Seems like the president and his own press secretary are not. Listen, here's KJP yesterday.
Today's announcement is a reminder of why it is so critical that the United States reduce its reliance on foreign sources of fossil fuels with the Inflation Reduction Act.
Is it clear to you, Robert, that the reason they're all flailing on the left is because their message is all over the place because it's not a sustainable message?
It's not a sustainable message, and you know, this administration wants to do everything but the one thing that would help. I mean, look at the policies from this presidency in canceling the Keystone Pipeline, in canceling leases for offshore federal lands, oil and gas development, and blocking permits for new development and exploration. I mean, you have, the continued practice of the White House to call names against the Saudi government, to look at the reaction that caused. But all of the focus needs to be on how we can drive down gas prices and how we can increase more our domestic production. This is not going to be a magic wand that's going to be fixed by wind and solar development that may take years, if not decades, to fully realize.
Yeah, certainly. And across the board, all the polls show that inflation, gas prices, #1 concern with voters right now. Kitchen table issues are what matter the most. So we're going to see how all of this plays out among the American people. I think we can venture a guess, and it's not going to be good. Robert, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.